Go.
Hello, we are Geeks Assembled.
Hello.
I'm joined as usual, with Susan here. This week we are discussing a 1991 BBC children's drama
With bunny rabbit ears.
with Bunny Rabbit ears. Written by Russell T Davies. His first television work, as far as I know, or first BBC commissioned work. Um, we are talking, of course, Dark Season, um, which as we say, was 1991. Um, starring, of course, Kate Winslet, who this was her first professional
So
acting role.
young. She looks so young.
Yeah. There's also Victoria Lambert, Ben Chandler in this. Bridget Forsyth, who is a stalwart of British TV as the teacher, but she's been in nearly everything. Grant Parsons and Jacqueline Pierce, the lovely
Jack
Jacqueline.
Pierce, a little Blake Seven connectivity there.
Yeah, it's a story of the coming of the end of the century, the millennium, because it's sort of set nearer the end of the century, coming of the millennium, and all the worries and fears what everybody has with technology. That's the main thing is technology in this story. Um, so I will go over to Susan with her opening thoughts on Dark Season.
All right. Well, to start off with, never seen this before. There's a lot of RTD stuff that Russell T Davies stuff that I have yet to watch. I haven't covered much of his body of work except for Doctor Who, and Sarah Jane and Little Torchwood and some other stuff. But those are, I mean, the fact that he's good at that spinning off from Doctor Who is amazing. But the in reality, this was really interesting. It was three students, three two two sort of cool normal students, and one super intellectual, super analytical student, that were up against, at first, a small group of computers and a central processor that was linking them, basically an early form of the World Wide Web. And actually, because of the way it went down, like, it was basically like Facebook. It sucked you in, and it kept you it kept you, uh basically mesmerized, and then captivated and captive by this. And that was really interesting. It was a good story. Kate Winslet was really fun. She played one of the more normal children. The super clever one was named, she was played by
Victoria Lambert.
And I really thought that I mean, for a villain, Eldritch was great. Eldritch reminded me so much of Depeche Mode. I couldn't God, it just ran all over my psyche. The Depeche Mode were using computers to control the humanity, and with their industrial sounding music. You can see what I'm getting at here.
Mm.
anyway, yeah. So I mean, it was a good story. It was a good two stories, and the first one was all about smaller computers, and then the second was about uh, a large computer, basically sort of a mecha suit, sort of a
Like a war machine.
yeah, like something that you'd see in Alien, or where else would you see that kind of thing? Oh, anime. A lot of anime has those things. So it was really kind of cool. And they were digging it up. Why the hell they buried it in the first place? Who the hell knows? Did it come from aliens? Maybe.
No.
There was a lot of cool questions that came up. And I enjoyed the high stakes feeling of it. And yeah. So there was plenty of intrigue and plenty of drama, and the stakes were pretty high. There were a lot of kids and a lot of grown-ups who got hurt, killed, sucked in, demolished, you know. And that's always really exciting. And I don't really know I don't know where these stories came from. I think that in terms of ideas being original, these were some amazingly original ideas. I mean, really amazingly original. Like I've watched a lot of stuff, and these, I mean, this could have been like war games, but it wasn't. It could have been like one of the stories that you've heard on Doctor Who about computers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Alex was like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of School Reunion. I mean, the story with that brought Sarah Jane Smith back to Doctor Who. But and then Behemoth could have been like Orac. Yes. I mean, I guess. But I still, there's still enough of a difference that maybe. Anyway, it's pretty clever, pretty original, and pretty fun. And I'm glad I saw it. Yeah, back over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Susan. Well, like I say, I watched this when it was broadcast back in '91. And to say this was it was on a children's, tea time channel, supposedly for kids. And you've got the story is you've got someone who wants to take over the minds of the children of the world, of the country, and also you've got in the second part of the story you've got secret Nazis wanting to dig up the behemoth, which the Pendragon had made back when she used to work at the Ministry of Defence, which they didn't know she was secretly a Nazi. And this was all for kids.
Yeah. But because her name was Pendragon,
yeah,
you kind of have to put there is a definite wall between those two story arcs. The Pendragon story arc is Arthurian, and the Nazi story arc is really different. They wouldn't hold to that because the Arthurians weren't blonde, weren't the master race. They were the Saxons, the brown hair, the spotty kids. I mean, they called Arthur Wart in Once a Future King. That was his nickname as a child. So you could tell he was a totally spotty, down to earth kind of kid.
I mean, this, I mean, you say this was 1991, and this, for me personally, I think Russell T Davies would agree that this was him trying to write his own Doctor Who,
Oh yeah.
because by 91, Doctor Who was not on the screens.
No, you're right.
And with Marcy as the clever young student, she was the character of the Doctor.
Yes.
You know, carrying around things in a bag, sticking out of a bag, and she knew everything. She knew answers. There was no explanations given. The Doctor always does that. Two companions following around like lapdogs. As you say, villains what want to take over the world.
Uh-huh.
Set in a normal day setting.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Russell T Davies writing his own version of sort of a Doctor Who storyline.
And then you could see how having crafted a few of these stories, probably he wrote a lot more than just these two. That he had a jumping off point for Sarah Jane Adventures.
True. As you say, it's I mean, for a kids program, this has stood out in my memory, and I know a lot of people always hark back to this and say, "Wow, I always remember Dark Season." Only one series, 6 episodes, but they always remember it. So, but yeah, great two sort of stories, great acting. As you say, Eldritch, the main antagonist. I see where you're coming from with Depeche Mode.
Oh my gosh, Martin Gore! I mean, what the hell? It just looks like him.
Great villain. Never takes his
villain. He was so cool. That's the problem. See, this villain you really wanted to like, and you wanted him to like everybody, but then he turned out he was fucking evil. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Green. Yeah, he never saw the color of his eyes because he never ever took his glasses off.
Mm-hmm.
The blonde hair, the long black coat.
But it wasn't really blonde, it was bleach blonde. It was that whitish blonde.
Just like Tom's was. The
yeah.
Kid. When Pendragon found out he wasn't naturally blonde. But
so good. Oh, that was so good.
But then that was twist there was, because she wanted him perfect to go into the Behemoth because of the Nazi, all this like the supreme
that bastard race bullshit. Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, I've blown your plan." They went, "No, it's not really. It's just doesn't really matter. I just wanted it that way." She just showed you how twisted she was. There was no call for him to be blonde and perfect, but she just wanted it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacqueline
Pierce was eating scenery in this again.
Yeah. She was. It was an amazing actress. I mean, sorely missed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can't believe I became a fan of hers after she died. It's just like that with some of these great actresses and stuff that I find. I'm just like, damn.
I mean, for me, Jacqueline Pierce was the most sexiest villain in sci-fi history.
Wow.
Steverland, now come on.
And for you to say that with who you are, holy fucking shit. No way. That's saying something. Oh my gosh.
Jackie Pierce, the way Steverland dressed, sultry, sexy, but then the huskiness of her voice.
Yeah.
What a great villain! I say I'm playing Pendragon. great character.
Great. Yeah.
But she was always known for in her later life for playing villains.
Yeah.
And when she appeared in Doctor Who, she played a villain, of course. But yeah, so I mean, there was some references to Doctor Who in this as well. I mean, you notice Reed played by Kate Winslet with a yo-yo all the time,
Yeah.
testing gravity.
You mean like the Fourth Doctor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
little nods here and there.
Yeah.
But, so moments for you then, Susan. What's
Oh my gosh. Things like uh, when all the kids are bringing home the computers, and they're just this parade of people carrying boxes, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh, and they open the box, and it's one of those old kind with the little keyboard and the little monitor that's like this wide. I'm like, oh, and and then and the fact that they kind of intimated that those were supercomputers. That was great fun. And the link ups. This was before 99. This was before 96. 96 was when I got my first Yahoo account. So 95, 96 was when the internet was just starting out, and people were talking about getting your free email account and finding your way onto a web portal. And that's when I joined all those Yahoo groups, and then eventually like connected with the. But I'd already been on forums a little bit here and there before that, but those were really like just text chains. There wasn't a bunch of stuff that was mixed in with it, and so that was different. The interesting thing was that this was in 91. This was before all of that. This was when doctors' offices and stuff had paper files. This was when hospitals had paper readouts for EKGs and all of that. This was before any of the stuff was available through, like, even scientists were more liable to call someone on the phone and talk about a discovery rather than putting it, sending it electronically. I just, it was just so interesting that all these computers were linked together. That was cool. That was like RTD kind of generating the internet before it was there. He was really visionary. He may be still visionary. We'll see how he does this next couple of years, because he could see things in the future. And the other thing was that the behemoth was like very much an AI. It was very much an artificial intelligence. It had its own personality. Interesting. I liked the difficulty that they had. They were like the difficulty they had believing that this was archaeology because there's a fucking backhoe. They were like, no, that's not possible. You don't do archaeology with a bulldozer. Who the hell do these guys think they're fooling? I thought that was really great, because kids who are clever and really intellectually astute, that's fun, And I know that Ace at one point said, archaeology is too slow. Wouldn't you just like to throw some TNT down there and blow it up and bring everything up at once? And I thought that was really funny. Yeah, it's just interesting. And I've been watching a hell of a lot of archaeology videos recently about Egypt and Rome and stuff, and Rome as having a lot of the Roman stuff being the last frontier in the UK, like the Hadrian's Well and stuff, and there's all these other cool Roman sites throughout England and Scotland, and well, England and south of that wall anyway. I don't know. It's just really interesting. So yeah, then the computer was really like an AI, and that's really fun because I'm gonna talk a little bit about Chat GPT when we do our next thing. But right now there's a big interest in AI. I mean, a lot of the shit that we're doing in this world right now is to do with AI. I mean, our medical facilities, our conversations in VR have to do with AI, and this new movie Megan, which is kind of like the movie that we're going to review, AI. Today. Anyway, and then there's Behemoth, and Behemoth was like this big mecha suit with like, you'd get in there and you'd have your arms strapped in and heads. Anyway, just cool. What else? Yeah, the Nazis. Anytime you involve Nazis, you know that there's no way in hell they're gonna prevail, especially if it's the UK, England, because you guys fucked their world up.
Yeah, well, we did. Yeah.
Yep. So that's good. Anyway, yeah, just that's a challenge, and I'm personally, I really enjoyed the whole thing, that there were two stories wrapped up, and you could see that there was a little bit of character development in our three leading characters.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's supposed to be set in the not too distant future. You know, the end of the 90s. But the one thing, what hasn't dated well in this, it's not the computer technology,
Right.
It's the it's the fashions of the children. If you notice it, you know, the school children, they were
All
all
the pastels.
pastel clothes, and they were all a similar design. Yeah, and I'm thinking, that's dated really badly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they were thinking that's, we'll think ahead to the future here. This is what the kids will be wearing. Never happened. But yeah, that's one thing what has dated it a bit. But yeah, I mean, you never found out who Eldritch is.
Nope.
I mean, after his first encounter with him, he's sort of he's blinded by the light, and that's the last you see of him until episode. Was it episode
4.
5? Episode 5.
Oh, is it? Did we miss one? Yeah, you're right. It is 5.
Yeah, because at the end of episode 5, he appears.
Yeah.
I just think, oh, where's he been? And then when he enters the Behemoth, when he's playing, he's battling with the mind of Behemoth for control, and then he just disappears again into thin air, gone. And then you get Pendragon running back and sitting in the chair.
Yeah, and Grant Parsons.
Yeah.
What was Grant in before this?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest.
Who was Grant when he was
I don't know.
I guess that's really all he's known for is Dark Seasons.
Maybe. It doesn't really say what he was here. But
Yep.
yeah, he just sort of disappears into thin air, and Pendragon goes down into the depths of the underneath the skull with Behemoth into the waters. So we assume that she dies under the water as
Yeah.
it all explodes. Um,
And or drowned, yeah, right?
yeah, um,
Big heavy thing on her.
yeah. So the villains get the comeuppance in the end. Um, but yeah, it's. I mean, one of the twists as well in the first story is about the professor. They kidnap the male, the husband,
Yeah.
because this we want you to be stood by us when we do this, and we want to see you how your work's been completed. And it turns out the professor's his wife.
Yeah. No, that
Because
was clever.
of course, because a woman can't be a professor, can she?
Oh, I
So,
know.
the way the way they were thinking, no, no, it's a man. But she soon put a stop to it. So, and did you the intro to this as well? Very Doctor Who esque.
Yeah.
The swelling,
Vortex.
yeah, the swelling vortex. I bet, I
Yep.
bet, I bet Russell T Davies asked for that.
And the other thing was that these two Russians or these two Russian sounding people with Polish last names were the people who were working on these things, and I just think that it was fun that you know they they didn't trust the kids,
Yeah,
but eventually like they ended up working together.
yeah.
I
You
mean,
see,
it took a lot of courage for adults to have any faith in children back then.
well, talking to the children thing, where I can't remember the character's name, but the young girl who goes with Eldritch and gets sort of taken over by the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name, but the
Olivia.
way that was it, Olivia. The way they just let her go with him, with this stranger. The teachers.
Oh,
What? I mean, even Marcy was saying, you've just let her walk out of here with someone you don't even know. You know, the attitudes back. But I mean, that was a great performance from that Olivia. The when she was taken over,
agreed. Yeah, that was sweet.
it was all, and then you can see it was all like what do they call it when it's all connected? Hive mind,
Yeah,
Gestalt.
or
It,
or nascent internet.
yeah,
I think they
because
were they all these things with computers. They were always trying to connect them, make
yeah,
them talk to each other. That's what they wanted. They wanted that so bad
it
that
was it's the human connection as well. That's what, and when Olivia was in pain or she was down on her knees screaming with pain, it
Mhm.
affected Eldritch as well. He went down, so there was a hive mind somewhere,
Yeah,
um, which was interesting. Not really explained.
it was because of all the white stuff on their skin
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
The
But
glow.
the glow, we'll call it the glow.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
the one thing I did like was, is it Miss Maitland, the teacher?
Yeah.
Marcy was always having a go at her for not standing up to people, all like this. And at the end of it, she becomes the hero with the big bulldozer.
She was. That was terrific.
Miss Maitland saves the day.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to talk about Dark Season?
Yeah. Marcy was Marcy was really the way that she was played. She was first played like she could see her trying to fit into her classmates and stuff like that. But as she went through these two experiences, she pulled away from that and she became more centered, more direct, and she became less emotional and
Yeah.
more forthright. And I mean, that was a fun. She had a fun character arc, for crying out loud, like,
This was her only acting job, apparently.
oh, no way.
She gave up acting for this, as far as I know.
That's amazing.
But but the good news is she's back. So I've just brought it up now. Coming out in May this year, so we haven't got long to wait. Big Finish Productions, who do all the audio dramas, have produced Dark Season, Legacy Rising.
Nice.
And it's got
Victoria Lambert.
I'll just get the cast up. Victoria Lambert as Marcy, Ben Chandler as Tom, so he's back. Kate Winslet as Reach, she's back. What else have we got? Bridget Forsyth
As Miss Maitland.
Yeah. Grant Parsons as Mr. Eldritch.
Nice.
They're all well. So we can't have Jackie Pierce back because she's no longer with us. But so all the remaining living cast are back.
Yeah, and that is really sweet. That is going to be really amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's let's have a look. It's it's in 4 parts or 4 stories. Called Spring, Summer, Autumn, and Winter.
Cool.
Spring written by Tim Foley, Summer by Chris Chapman, Autumn by James Goss, and Winter by Russell T Davies. So that will be an interesting listen to when it comes out.
James Goss.
Yeah, he's written the 3rd story.
I recognize that name. I do.
He's done several Big Finish stories. So yeah, it's so the Dark Season lives on. I mean, saying that, it's what 30 odd years it's taken to do it, but hey.
Oh, and it was directed by this guy named Colin Cant, and I just remember one of our old cast members used to be named Cant, and I didn't ever think that that was a standard name, but here's another fella. And it was produced by Richard Callanan, and that's another whole like spelling of that name. I don't know. I thought that it was really, like, the production was really well done. The writing was really good, and the direction, of course, RTD directing it, pulling on it, writing it.
It still stands the test of time. It's got great storytelling, great acting. It draws you in.
Yep.
And for a kids program, you can just imagine if you was I don't know, say 8-year-old, 9-year-old, coming home from school, having your tea, then going to sit in front of the TV to watch this.
Yep.
I mean, what was it? 91. I was 21 at the time, but I still watched it.
Oh, cool.
So, Dark Sea. Yes, I've got the DVD.
Of course you do. And you can store it right next to Depeche Mode because it looks just like a little Martin Gore. Anyway,
So
I'll stop talking about that. But it's really that Mr. Aldrich. He looks like a pretty cool rock star to me.
yeah. So what's your final say and score on Dark Season then?
Let's see. Well, because the whole thing was it was very reminiscent in my mind because I saw School Reunion first. It reminded me of good things that RTD had done before and good things that had been done. Grange Hill a little bit of Harry Potter, all the things about school where, but the fact that it was a day school, it was just a little different than. Let's see. I will give this a. Yeah, I'll give this a 9.5. Strange little supercomputers that were jonesing for the internet, that were jonesing for connectivity, and children and grown-ups that were jonesing for connectivity too, psychic connectivity. And I think that's what we're always aiming for is inner computer connectivity and human connectivity.
Yeah.
And I like connecting with Lee and these podcasts, and I really enjoy connecting with you folks on the internet. I don't think you're reading my mind because, I do go to sleep with my tinfoil hat. Anyway, I enjoy these things. So, yeah, that's it. 9.5.
Sometimes Susan falls asleep during these casts as well.
I haven't done that for so long.
But I remember it.
All right. Lee, your final say and score then.
It's a classic. It's one of those ones what it's in the back of your head. Oh yeah, I love Dark Season. This is why I bought it. I was going to say childhood memories, but as I say, I was 21, so it wasn't really a childhood memory. Yeah, God, it's 10. It's 10 pairs of shades out of 10. It's a good storytelling.
Eldritch Shades.
Eldritch Shades. It's good storytelling. It's ideal stuff for kids.
Yeah,
and that's what Russell T Davies had in mind. Even the adults would get drawn into it as well. So that's proof of a good writer. If you can draw the kids in and draw the adults in as well, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our little review of Dark Season, and hopefully in the not too distant future we'll review the audio drama when it comes out.
Drama. Yeah, that sounds like great fun.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely make a point of doing that.
Yeah, so it won't be that long. It's due out in May at some point, so maybe a month after that we'll be able to do it. Yeah, so that's our little review over and done with. I always like to thank Susan for joining me. Because we like talking utter gibberish.
And the fact that I got to talk about archaeology, computer connectivity, and this little bit of science fiction that was going on, that was all great.
Yes, because sometimes what we talk about often leads off in a tangent to something else, and then we come back again, and then we go off in another direction.
Oh, the geekiness in here goes on forever.
So, what I'd like to say to you guys out there, please, if you're watching this, either through Facebook or through Twitter or on YouTube, because the links are all on the social media platforms. I always put the links up. So, and Susan's just gone in the dark there. And she's back. She likes to flick the light off every now and again. So, yeah. So if you're watching this and you think, you know what, I'd like to join in and sit down for an hour or two, just talking about stuff I like to watch or listen to, please leave a message. Leave a comment below the videos or wherever you watch it from, or messages me directly on Facebook or wherever. I will get around to replying to you eventually. I usually do. All we ask is that you be 18 plus, because some things we review are 18 rated, of course, or our conversations can get a bit heated sometimes about what we're discussing, because we love what we like to talk about, so it gets a bit heated. 18 plus. All you need is a PC or a laptop or a tablet or a mobile phone with a camera and a microphone, and you're in. We'd like, it has to have
And
a camera.
Zoom.
And Zoom, you just download the Zoom app. It's free, so that's what we use. And yeah, but the camera is essential, because we like to see who we're talking to. It's a lot better, when you're talking to a blank space like that. It's a bit off-putting. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she's back again. Because we have done that, has happened in the past, where people turn up and don't put the camera on, and it's a bit, we like to see each other when we're talking. We like to watch each other picking our noses.
Agreed.
So that is it. I think I've done all the month, haven't I? Is that everything?
Yeah, like and subscribe, and also hit the bell notification button.
That bell's, that bell's seen better days.
Oh, that was good.
It didn't come down this end.
I guess I can't figure out which microphone I'm actually using. It could be the one on the camera, could be this one that's sitting right here, or it could be this one that's attached. I can't seem to figure it out. I'll have to do the tap test again. I'm sorry, I just can't sort it out.
Now I've got this image in my head of Susan doing the tap test, and all I can see now is Susan tap dancing.
Wow, you've got quite an imagination there, because that is not in my abilities at all.
Tap. That's all I've got in my head now is tap dancing.
I can think the song, but I can fucking do that. Jesus, no way.
So
no way.
I'm gonna let Susan go put her tap shoes on, and then we'll sign off for now until next time. So please, guys, get in touch with us and see what we can sort out for you all. So bye for now.